Hi friends, welcome back to another Sydney Small Business Diaries vlog. We have a lot to talk about today. We have a lot of updates and a lot of things that I want to get prepped to at least start sewing. I don't even know if any sewing is actually going to happen in this vlog today, but we have a lot of prepping to do. I know my background is like so messy. It's the worst background ever. I was actually telling my husband like the other day, when my business is successful, I'm gonna look back on how I started in this cramped, messy corner of like a crafting area. Like I guess I just don't even bother to think about it until I sit down to film, because then I'm like, well, everyone's just looking at this in the background, like this is my background. But anyway, it'll get better prayerfully as time goes on. But we have a lot of updates to get into. There's a lot that's happened in like the past 2 weeks, I think it is, since I've talked to y'all, spoken to y'all. So I don't even know where to begin. Like, I honestly don't even know where I left off. So I'm just gonna try my best to jump into something. I guess the first thing I can say is that I did get a new sewing machine. I think maybe in one of my other videos I was talking about, I don't know if I ever talked about wanting to upgrade my sewing machine, but I think I did. And I think I also talked about like embroidery, but how the main focus was to upgrade the sewing machine, and you know, I didn't really know if I was going to embroider, yada yada yada. So I started doing some research, and I got the Brother SC700, which is a sewing and embroidery machine. However, the 700, the largest hoop, the largest hoop size is a 4x4. And so the advice that I saw people giving was go with the machine that has the largest hoop size that you can afford or something like that. But I figured, well, I'm only trying embroidery out, you know, like I don't run an embroidery business, I'm sewing. So silly me, I was like, well, I'll just try the 4x4 out, because you know, I have no idea if I'm going to embroider, if I'm going to like it, if it's something that I'll consider adding to my business. Like, I have no idea. So I got the Brother SC700. It is a step up from my Singer heavy duty. However, I don't know like a whole lot about brands, so I'm not saying like the brand itself is a step up from Singer, because I have no idea. However, my Singer heavy duty is a 4411, if I'm not mistaken. And the things I was looking for in a new sewing machine, especially someone who's a beginner, who's still learning, I was looking for a sewing machine that was a little more beginner friendly. So when I say a step up, I just mean that the Brother has the speed controls, which there are Singer machines that have the speed control. It's just that my Singer machine, the one that I have, does not have a speed control. So that's what I mean. I don't necessarily know if it's a step up from the Singer brand, but it's a step up from the machine that I currently have. I just want to make that clear, because I don't want anyone thinking I'm saying that Brother is better. I really don't know. I have no idea. So it has the speed controls, which I absolutely love. I feel like that has improved my sewing so much. I know a lot of people will say like, you know, like it doesn't matter what machines you have or what tools you have. You know, like if you don't know how to do something, you don't know how to do it. And I get what they're saying, but on the other hand, the machines and tools you have could actually, especially if you're someone who's a beginner, but maybe even if you're not a beginner, but especially if you're someone who's a beginner because you don't know much, you're still learning, you don't know how to really like control I don't know, like the tension or the speed or the pace of things, like the machine and tools actually can help. Like they actually can help and make you better. And the speed control for me was something that I have seen like a huge improvement in my sewing, because with my Singer it just has the foot pedal, and so all of the control is on you. And there would be times where I felt like I wasn't even pressing on the pedal that much, and the sewing machine was like going so fast, or vice versa, I'm pressing on it and it's still going slow. So I was like, I really wanted a machine that had like the speed control button. So the Brother SC700 does come with the foot pedal. You can also not use the foot pedal. I still prefer the foot pedal because sometimes I forget that I don't have the foot pedal plugged in, and then like I needed to stop the sewing machine, but I didn't stop it in enough time because I was looking for the foot pedal, but I needed to press the buttons on the machine because the foot pedal wasn't plugged in. But anyway, the point is, even if I'm using the foot pedal, it's still only going to go as fast as I have it set to go on the sewing machine. So that's one thing. It also does have like a back stitch button that like will do it for you. It also has like a needle or at least for me, like I think it has a needle positioning button, so like you can keep the needle down, like in the down position, so you don't like lose your stitch place or whatever, which is another good thing I feel like, especially for a beginner. It does have like the thread, it threads the needle for you. That's a nice feature. It's not one that I like needed. I didn't have a problem threading my own needle, but it is a nice feature to have, you know, like I'm not complaining about it. And then oh, one feature that is nice that I didn't even think about is that it has a scissor button, so it will cut the thread for you. Whereas with my Singer, I'm gonna say that again, but the Singer machine that I have, I would have to like, you know, like just pull the whatever I'm sewing out a little bit and then trim it with the scissors, which is not that big of a deal, but it's so nice for a machine to cut it for you, because then you aren't wasting any more thread than you need to. So that's nice as well. I think that's all for the sewing portion of it. Oh, the what's it called, the throat space on this one is a little bit higher than my Singer heavy duty, which was also a bit of a problem, a struggle for me, because when I was going over anything that was like even a little bit bulky, it was so hard to get it like under the foot of the Singer sewing machine. So the one on the Brother, the throat space is a little bit higher, it's got a little more height to it, so it is easier to get like thicker material and thicker things under the presser foot, which is great. I think that's it. I want to say that's it for the sewing machine. And then on to the embroidery machine. I did bring the things that I've embroidered. I can't remember if this is all. So I will show you all the things that I've embroidered, and then I'll talk about like pros and cons, I guess, and what I plan to do next when it comes to embroidering. So I have like some leftover shirts from like my heat press transfer shirts and stuff like that. So I started using those to embroider. I'm gonna try to go in the order in which I like did the projects. So I believe this one is the first one. And all of my designs I got off of Etsy. So I did not design these myself. I just bought the file off of Etsy. And I use Embrilliance. This comes with some type of software, if I'm not mistaken, but I just got a subscription, I guess, to Embroidery. So that's what I have been using. So this was the first shirt I made. It just says worthy with the bow, and this was just on the 4x4. So it, like, if you put it up close, it's like, oh, it's not that bad, you know, like it's not too small. I feel like when you take a step back, and if I had this on, for me, like for my personal preference, this is too small. Like this is way too small. I would not enjoy this. So this was my first project, and it was after this project that I was like, yeah, the 4x4 is not gonna cut it. Like this is just, it's way too small. And I enjoyed making this, and I was like, okay, now I want to embroider, but the 4x4 is just way too small. Like it's way too small. I don't even know what else to say. It's just way too small. And so after I finished this one, I looked up videos, and I came across a video that teaches you how to it teaches you how to do a split hoop on the brother. Because at first I was like, okay, well, I already know I'm going to return this. And then I came across a video that talks about how to do a split hoop. So I immediately ordered like a larger hoop for the split hoop. So we'll get into that as well. But while I was waiting on the split hoop to get here, I did make a couple more 4x4s, but I decided to do it like a pocket tee instead of in the middle. And this one I messed up a little bit because the thread had ran out, the bobbin thread had ran out right here, and I didn't really know how to like go back to the same stitch area or whatever, so it messed up a little bit. But this one says not perfect, just forgiven. So I did that one, and then I did that exact same thing with just two different colors. So this one says the same thing, it's just two different blues now. And then I think the split hoop got here, and so I tried this worthy stitch again, which I don't know if y'all can tell, but it is slightly bigger. However, again, once I finished, I was like, it's still not big enough. And the split hoop is only, so the main hoop is a 4x4. The split hoop is only a 4x6 3/4 or something like that. And maybe I haven't learned what I needed to learn yet. However, even when a hoop says 4x4, the design still has to be like a little smaller than that. Like the hoop is a 4x4, but your design has to be a little smaller to fit into the 4x4. So this hoop was a 4x6.75, but the design still had to be a little smaller than that. Like it doesn't actually give you the full space, if that makes sense. So yeah, I was like, okay, this is slightly bigger, but it's still not big enough. Like it's still not big enough. And then I also did this Jaguars one. And that came out really cute, but once again, I was just like, yeah, this is still not enough. Like for what I want to do, like shirts, sweatshirts, crew necks, that kind of stuff, I'm just like, it's not big enough. It's not. So I took some time to like think about, okay, well, is embroidery something I really want to do? Like, do I even want to do it? Do I even want to invest in a larger, or a machine with a larger hoop space? Or should I just like think of things that I can do with the 4x4, like, you know, like baby clothes or pet accessories, or maybe like kitchen towels or towels in general, or like people embroider like pajamas, like, you know, like whatever I could look up or think to do with the 4x4. I'm like, am I interested in doing any of that? Is that what I'm trying to do? And the answer is no. The answer is no, I'm not interested in doing any of that, and that is not what I'm trying to do. Like, I really would love to do apparel. And so I started doing more research, and I've been doing research on like machines and stuff probably for the past 2 weeks, like ever since I got the Brother SE700. And at first I was just going to upgrade to the Brother SE2000, which is again a sewing and embroidery combo machine, and the largest hoop is a 5x7. So at first I thought like, okay, well, I'll just upgrade to that one. But if I'm being honest with myself, a 5x7 is also not going to be large enough. I didn't even want to waste my time, because I thought about, okay, well, I'll get it, I'll try it. If it's still not large enough, I'll return that one as well, and then have to start this whole process over again. But I feel like I already know, especially now that I know that the hoop size isn't exactly the size of the design. Like, the design still has to be a little bit smaller than that. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my time. So I need at least a 6x10. An 8x13 would be great, but I feel like at that point I might as well get like a multi-needle embroidery machine, and I'm nowhere near that. I'm nowhere near that. And I thought about it because I looked on like websites that have used machines and stuff, and I found a multi-needle that they're still super expensive, but I found one that like wasn't as expensive. But I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. That would be something like to work towards. Like, that would be something that's like, oh, my business is doing so well, I can reward myself with this multi-needle machine, you know? But I feel like if you're someone who can afford it, and you know that embroidery is something that you want to do, it probably is best to just get the multi-needle machine to start with. Like, I probably wouldn't even waste my time buying like these smaller machines or these one needle machines or whatever, if you know that that's something that you want to do and you can afford it, and also have the space for it. Because I was also like, where am I gonna put a multi-needle machine? Like, look at the space that I'm working with right now. So multi-needle machine is out. I almost pulled the plug and got it, but I decided to cut that out. However, I have been looking at 6x10 machines, and I found two. It's just a matter of me narrowing it down, I guess, and choosing one. One is a Brother, and one is a Baby Lock. I feel like I'm more inclined to go with the Baby Lock, because I do, if I'm not mistaken, again, I don't really know, but if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that Baby Lock would like be a better brand over Brother, and it's actually a little cheaper than the Brother machine. The Brother machine I found on Amazon, but the Baby Lock machine is on a website of like one of the local sewing shops, like in the DFW area, and it's actually a little cheaper than the Brother machine on Amazon. So I'm like, it seems like a no-brainer. But that one is a 6x10. So I think I'm gonna pull the plug and buy the Baby Lock embroidery machine. And then also I realized that I don't want a combo machine. It doesn't make sense in my opinion, for me, because if I am embroidering, like if I only have one machine, I still do have my Singer, but the whole point the whole initial point was to upgrade my sewing machine. So I don't think I'm going to go back to using a Singer. I'm holding on to it because maybe it'll come in handy. But I'm holding on to it before I like try to sell it or give it away or give it to one of the sewing shops or whatever. But I realized that I don't want a combo embroidery and sewing machine because it would just like waste time, you know, when I could be doing two things. Like if I really am wanting to embroider, which I am, if I have an embroidery project on the machine, then I just have to like sit here and not do anything until it's done. Whereas if I have a separate embroidery and sewing machine, while something is embroidering, I can also still be sewing. You know what I mean? So I have decided that I'm going to get a separate embroidery machine, which the Baby Lock is just an embroidery machine. However, when it comes to the sewing machine, I have not decided if I'm going to keep the Brother SC700 just because I already have it, like out of a convenience, easy thing instead of returning it, or if I'm going to return the Brother embroidery and sewing machine and just get another sewing machine that still has like the same features that I'm looking for. I do have like a few weeks, I think, until like my return window is up for Amazon to return the Brother SC700. So that's not that big of a deal right now, but that is something else that I'm also thinking about. Like, okay, well, am I going to keep this one or should I return this one and get, you know, like just a sewing machine? So there's that. And then I think this is the last embroidery thing, and then I'll get on to like the sewing stuff. So we still have a lot to talk about. And then even before I got the embroidery machine, I saw how people do like the applique and then they like hand embroider or whatever. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. I used fabric and my Cricut to like print out just an S. I just wanted to start with like something simple. So I printed out an S with some fabric with my Cricut. Did I say Cricut? Whatever. I printed out an S with fabric on my Cricut machine, and then I thought like, okay, I'm going to try to embroider this. I still had embroidery supplies because last year I made like ornaments, like embroidered ornaments or whatever. So I still had embroidery supplies. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just try to do this. I quickly realized that I did not want to do it by hand. Going around an entire letter, because then I'm thinking like, okay, well, if I do this and I'm doing like multiple letters or words or like whole phrases and stuff, like, am I really gonna want to sit there and go around every single letter myself? No, I'm not. So then I started looking up like, okay, well, how can I do this like on the sewing machine, or like what stitch should I use? Because people also just stitch it up on the sewing machine. So I tried that as well, y'all. And this is the S, and this is, never mind the colors, like I know it doesn't really go together, I was just trying stuff, but this is the S, and then I stitched around it with the sewing machine. And then I also realized, okay, I don't like this at all. I like the idea of applique, and shout out to all the business owners and creators who do the applique, especially the ones who take the time to like hand embroider around or whatever. But I realized that it's not for me. It's not for me, at least not right now. So I tried it and I decided that it's not for me. So anyway, I think that is all. I think that's everything embroidery. That's all the embroidery updates. I'm just gonna sit these over here for right now. Now let's get into the sewing. I can't even remember what I was doing last time that I talked to y'all, but I have narrowed down what I'm doing now. So I am solely focused on book sleeves, Kindle sleeves, Bible sleeves, I'm solely focused on the sleeves right now is what I'm doing. So I started, so let me say, because of that, all of this other stuff, and I decided to take a lot of stuff off of my website that I just felt like wasn't good enough. So like this whole fall collection, that's not fall, and this is not fall. This like whole fall collection that I did, this isn't all of it, but just some of it. These book sleeves and these like toiletry bags that I thought I was gonna make, they're just here. I decided to take them off of my website, and then I thought like, okay, well, they're not good enough for my website, but maybe I'll put them on Depop. So I had them on Depop, and then I was like, well, I don't want anyone to like buy anything from me that I don't think is worth it, even if it's on Depop, even if I was selling it for like dirt cheap, because I want people to like get my products and want to come back. And if I'm selling things that I don't even think are worthy of selling, it's just like, okay, I'm just trying to get rid of them because I made them, but what if people don't come back, you know? So I completely just did away with this fall collection that I started, or that I launched my website with. And then also I still have a lot of this fabric left, y'all. I don't know if this is a thing with like other creators and people who use fabric for whatever, but I don't like this fabric anymore. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't like this fabric anymore. So although I still have a lot of it and I could still use it and like redo book sleeves and stuff for a fall collection, I simply do not like this fabric. I don't. I just don't. So there's that with this stuff. I'll set that over here. And then I moved on. Oh, and then I had like this strawberry fabric or whatever. And then I moved on to some newer fabric that I had gotten. I can't remember if I showed y'all in the video. I don't even know if I had this fabric in that video, but I moved on to some newer fabric. And this time I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try zippers. Like, I really want to get good at zippers. I'm gonna do like some zipper Kindle and book sleeves. So that brings us to this collection, or whatever you want to call it. This collection right here, I do have some bow sleeves in here as well. But we have all of these, right? We have all of these. We were trying out zippers. We actually did a decent job with the zippers. I did like different lining on the inside. I was trying like different things, trying new techniques and everything like that. We did a bunch of zippers. The zippers actually did not come out bad, at least in my opinion. They didn't come out bad. So I was like, okay, these are good. Took pictures of them, uploaded them to the website, put them on my Depop as well. And then I asked my husband, I said, husband, can you please look at these and like just tell me what you think about them. Tell me what you think. And I will say, before I asked him this, I was doing the my label, like, I also started making labels. I started making labels. That was a new thing as well. I started doing my labels like in the center. But I was like, husband, could you just like look at my stuff and, you know, like tell me what you think about it? Do you think it's good? What do you think I need to work on? Stuff like that. And he said two things. His one thing was that he didn't know if the label should be in the center. He was like, maybe try putting the label like in the bottom corner for one. And then this label is actually pretty good, but on some of them, the line, like my stitching around the label was not straight. And he was just like, you know, like just try to get the label like straight every time so it looks clean and everything like that. And I was like, okay, well that makes sense, you know, like I'll try those two things. But like some of these, trying to get the label, like the line around the label straight was just, I don't know what it was, but it was so hard for me, like so hard for me. But I started doing the label at the bottom. So that's why you see some now at the bottom. However, like I felt like I still could not get, now that I'm looking at these, the lines actually do look straight. I don't know. Now, like some of these lines actually do look pretty straight. But I started doing the label at the bottom, and then I went back to him and I was like, okay, well here's the label at the bottom, here's the label in the middle, which one looks better? And then he was like, oh, he can't decide. He couldn't decide. So I was like, okay, well I'll try to like ask on social media. I tried to ask on my YouTube community. No one responded, but I did also ask on TikTok and got like a few responses. The consensus was people like the label better on the bottom. And then I also asked, like, do people prefer zippers or like bows, like bow ties? And some people said zippers, some people said bows. So I was just like, okay, well I would just do both of them. But anyway, I forgot what happened. I think I just also was having like a very emotional day that day or something, because I don't remember exactly what happened, but I was just like, I don't think I can sell these either. Like I don't think these can be sold. Like, you know, like I have different labels, like some labels are down here, some labels are in the middle, some of the labels aren't straight, like the stitching is off. Like I don't think I can sell these. I don't think I can. And he was like, okay, well maybe don't sell them on your website, but sell them on Depop. And so these were also listed on Depop at a discounted price. But then I had that whole thing again where I'm like, if I'm not pleased with the product, what's the point of selling it at all? You know? Because once again, I want people to get my products and be happy with them and happy enough to come back and shop again. I don't want people to get my products and be like, oh, like, you know, this is kind of messed up, this is kind of off, you know, and then they're just like a one-time customer. So I decided to also just not sell these. And I was starting to freak out because I'm like, well, you know, like this is such a waste. Like I used up all this fabric, y'all. And I was so excited because this was the first time that I had like used up all the fabric and like made all the things, and I was super excited about it. And so like I was just having a hard time because I'm like, this was so much fabric like that I've used up that has gone to waste. And my husband had to remind me, like, it's not a waste because it is a learning experience. Mind you, I've only had my business for 1 month, and I started sewing, I think, a little after, or maybe I started sewing maybe like a few days or something before I launched my business. Y'all probably like, well, how did you launch a business, a sewing business, and you weren't even sewing? Originally the business was the heat press transfer shirts, which I don't even know if I've shown on here because now I am focused on sewing. But the business was originally the heat press transfer shirts, which is on my website. It was under a different, my website and business was under a different name. Once I decided to start sewing, I changed the name. So my website was already planned to launch with the shirts and stuff, which the shirts have been selling, thankfully. At least something has been working out and something has been selling. So those have been selling. You can check those out as well. But yeah, I was just like, I don't want people, like, if I'm not pleased with the product and it's not like consistent work and consistent quality, and like the designs aren't consistent or the labels aren't consistent, whatever, I really don't think I should sell it. So I thought it was a waste. My husband reminded me, like, it's a learning experience. He's like, you literally just learned how to sew. Like, I've only been sewing for almost a month now. So yeah, he's like, you know, you're learning, you're doing stuff, yada yada. So, and he's right. So we had, once again, another like batch of stuff that will just never see the light of day, which is okay. Now that finally leads us to the things that I have sewn so far that actually will see the light of day and actually already are on my website as well as my Depop. And so I'm proud to show these. I'm proud to sell these. Like, I'm super proud of these. I only have like 7 or 9. I only have 9 right now. So very small, but I'm super proud of this small batch. So I will show y'all. Here we have my very small batch of sleeves. I'm just gonna call them sleeves because they can be book sleeves, journal sleeves, Kindle sleeves, Bible sleeves. Just my small batch of sleeves. And I'm gonna go through all of these and tell you like changes that I made and stuff like that. So I can't remember, once again, I can't remember like every single detail and how every single thing played out, but somehow I got the idea, because I wanted to do labels. My husband was just like, well, just like take the labels off, you know, like just take the labels off. And I'm like, well, I don't want to sell products without labels, because I do want people to know, like, you know, like if someone asks them like, oh, where'd you get that from? Or if they like want to remember where they bought it from, they have the label. Like, you know, they don't have to think about it or say like, oh, I don't know, I forgot where I got it from. So like, I didn't want to sell things without labels, but I just felt like I'm not at a point where I can get the quality of the label to be consistent on every single product. So I was like, well, what if I put the label on the inside? Like, instead of putting it on the outside, you know, it's nowhere on the outside now. I was like, I went to my husband, I was like, what if I put the label like in the lining, like on the lining on the inside? And he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly where my labels are now. They are on the inside of the lining. So my sleeves right now come in 3 different sizes. They come in small, which this is a small. And by small, I mean like it can fit. My Kindle is the Kindle Oasis, if I'm not mistaken. So it can definitely fit that. And then this like Jane Austen book, like these super small books, they can also fit in here. I feel like you could maybe fit like a small paperback book in here, but it would be a little tight. But if you have books that are like this size or somewhere around this size, they fit perfectly in here. Kindles fit great in here, and you still have like space for other things. I feel like some people might like their book sleeves or don't mind if their book sleeves fit super snug, but I size mine based off of if you have space left, if that makes sense. So these are small for me. So we have this beautiful like blue or beige and blue floral design with the bow closure. So this is how it looks closed. I just made 2 of each right now. I'm making more today, or prepping to make more today. So right now I have 2 small in the beige and blue floral, and then I have 2 small in like this patchwork, and they're all quilted. Also, I learned how to quilt. I finally got over my little fear of like quilting things, so they are also all quilted. But so then I have 2 smalls of like this patchwork print as well. And then next we move to the mediums. So let me show y'all what I mean by like having space or like not having any space. So this one is a Kristen Hanna book, The Great Alone, and this one is like a thickie. This is a pretty thick book. So this one fits in here, and it fits in here well. Like, it's not a struggle to get it in or anything. However, it pretty much, like, this is the book sleeve. I guess you could try to squeeze like some stuff in here, but like the book takes up majority of the book sleeve, which some people may prefer that. Some people may not have a problem with that. So yeah, this is a medium. It can fit thicker books, as you just saw with the Kristen Hanna book. And then this one, like medium book, but it has like a lot more room in there. And then, so I have 2 in the patchwork again, and I have 2 in the beige and blue floral. And then the last thing, and I only have 1 of these right now, is this Bible cover. My Bible is in here. Y'all can see all my tabs and stuff. So I sewed the cover like normal, and then I used my embroidery machine. I had to use a split hoop because I still don't have a bigger one obviously yet, so I used a split hoop to do like the cross design. But I love how this came out, and I figured like once I actually get my actual machine and stuff, I could also like have a customizable section if you want to like add your initials or your name or something like that. I will also do like more designs and stuff, but right now I'm just trying to keep it simple and get some out. So this is the only books or Bible sleeve that I have right now. I mean, you can just use it for regular books as well, like large books as well. But I'm marketing it as a Bible sleeve considering it has the cross on it. So I do have that. And then today's plan is to make large book sleeves, like, you know, they're gonna be the same size as the Bible sleeve. They just won't have like a cross or anything on them. So I'm gonna do that today. But y'all, I have talked for about 45 minutes on just updated stuff. Like, we haven't even gotten into the sewing yet or anything like that. So anyway, like I said, I'm super proud of these. Like, these are ones that I look at and I'm like, I know that if someone buys these, or when people do buy these, I won't question shipping them out. Like, I won't question like, oh, should I have sold that or should I have waited? Everything like that. Y'all, actually, now that this video is so long, this might be like a 2-part series, because if not, the entire video would probably be like 2+ hours long. So I think I'm going to keep this as an updated video. So now that I've updated y'all on everything, and like I said, I have decided to just do sleeves right now. I do have ideas of other things that I would like to add to my website sewing wise, but I've decided to just stick with one thing. I'm getting like so much better every single time when I sew the sleeves and stuff, so I'm solely focused on the sleeves right now. And then, like I said, I do have the heat press shirts that are on there, and then once I get a larger embroidery machine with the larger hoop, I will have like embroidered apparel and stuff like that. Last thing I'll talk about in this updated video is, I guess, like kind of what I've learned or what I've realized in this first month of starting my business and sewing and everything, is that I guess the main thing that I've learned is that I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Every time I thought that I had like a clear plan of like what I wanted my business to be and what I wanted to do, that changes like as the days go on, as the weeks go on. I feel like I'm finding my footing and finding like what I want my brand to be and what I want to sell and like my customer base. I'm figuring all of that out as I go, which a lot of people would probably suggest you do that before you start. But for me, I'm one of those people that if I would have waited until I had every single thing figured out, I probably would not start. So for me, I'm actually okay with the fact that I don't know what I'm doing and I'm learning as I go, because I feel like that is how you learn and grow, is by trying things and figuring out what works and figuring out what doesn't. But yes, I have no idea what I'm doing, y'all. I have no idea about like marketing and how to really promote myself and put my business out there. I really don't. The best thing that I've probably done so far is like, you know, the orders that I do get, I write like individual thank you notes, and hopefully those customers like keep coming back, and hopefully then it's a word of mouth thing, like, oh, where'd you get this from? I got it from this website called sydni.com, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, and that's okay. I've also learned like, you know, what works and what doesn't work. I could look at all of this as I was looking at it before my darling husband reminded me. I could look at this, all of this, as a waste, right? This is so much fabric, and this isn't even all of it. I still have some other things that are in this pile, but this is so much fabric that will never see the light of day. Like, these are not going out to anyone. They're not being shipped out. They're not being sold. And there was so much time and money and effort spent into sewing all of this and like learning all of these new things and techniques and stuff. And every time I thought that I had a product that was good enough to sell, it was like, no, it's not good enough, you know? So I've learned to be prepared to lose money. Like, this is pretty much money lost, you know? I'm prepared to lose money if it means that I'm learning and improving my skill and my craft and improving the quality of my products and stuff, you know? So this is money lost. Money well spent, or money spent and money lost. All gone. So that's another thing I've learned, is that will happen. Again, I've only had my business for a month. Not everything is going to be perfect. There is going to be a lot of learning curves and everything like that. So I'd say that would be another big thing. One thing I'm not afraid to do is like try new things. I'm not afraid to try new things. I'm also not afraid to just ask a community of people like, hey, like, what do y'all like? What do y'all prefer? Just put stuff out there, see what kind of feedback I get in return, and apply that to my business. I also do depend on my husband, because I need a different set of eyes, you know? I also do send stuff to my mother-in-law as well to see what she says about stuff, but having like a different set of eyes is also good, because something that I think looks good or something that I think might work, my husband is like, actually, how about you try it this way? Or how about you do this? Or, you know, like, this is good, but this looks a little off right here, something like that. So that has been very helpful as well. And then also just not necessarily giving myself grace, but understanding that success does not necessarily happen overnight. I will say I didn't set out any goals for my first month of my business, but I have done better than I guess I thought I would. So this first month has actually been a win. Again, I didn't have any goals, so I can't really say like, oh, well, I met my goals or anything like that. But I would take the sales that I've made this month as a win. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was definitely more than I was intending to sell. So it's definitely a win. I feel like you have to take the small wins where you can get them and understand that, you know, it takes time. It takes time to, I feel like it's one of those things where sometimes you get on social media, whether it's just the influencer or content creator or maybe another small business, and you see how like they just opened their small business and they're already sold out of stuff, and you know, they're like packaging so much stuff and making so much sales, and you can start to feel like down and like a little discouraged, like, oh, how come that isn't happening to my business? Why isn't that happening to me? But everyone's path is different. Everyone's path is going to look different. Some people do have like that overnight success thing, or some people might have already had like a large following, so by the time that they launched their website, they already had people who were anticipating it. You know, like there could be a number of things. Maybe they already have a team. Maybe some people can afford to start their business with a team. They have like a marketing team, so many people like pushing their business and their products out there. So there's so many like things I feel like you can start to like compare yourself to other people and other businesses and stuff. But I'm trying to focus on like, you know, like setting my goals. Like as long as I reach the goals for myself, then I have been successful. And I would say my first month of business was actually very successful. It was very successful. I haven't sold any of my sewn products yet. However, I just made a batch that's actually good enough to sell, and I just put those up on my website like last night, I think it was. But I have sold more shirts and sweatshirts than I thought I would in this first month. So I'm super thankful and grateful for that. And I probably have not said this so far on this channel, but I am a Christian. And so I feel like I think I saw someone say something like this on TikTok or something. But it said something like, if God put it in your heart, then like he has a plan for it, or he has a plan for you or something like that. And that really like resonated with me. I really like took that in, because if God put it on my heart, for one, and just how well I've gotten at sewing in just this 1 week that I've been sewing, I feel like that's all the Like, that's all I need right there. You know what I mean? That's all I need. And my time will come when my time comes. Maybe I'll have a viral TikTok video or a viral YouTube Shorts video, or you know, maybe word of mouth will get so good that everyone's like asking me, you know, like, oh, Sydney, when are you gonna be stocked back up in this, or when are you gonna restock that? And you know, like, whatever happens will be in my journey, and however long it takes will be however long it takes. But anyway, y'all, like I said, I plan to come on here and sew, but because this update just took me an hour to make, I'm going to leave this here, and I will like prep and sew in the next video y'all see. But that is all I have for y'all today in this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all so much for the support. Anyone who has ordered from my website, or if you've subscribed to my YouTube channel, you like my videos, like my YouTube shorts, share my videos, whatever, in whichever capacity that you have supported me, it is truly appreciated. So I just want to thank each and every one of y'all who have found my little channel and have stuck around so far. Thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.